Have you ever wondered about the miracles and profound history of Our Lady of Guadalupe? In this video, we will explore how her apparition to the humble Juan Diego transformed lives and continues to inspire millions to this day. Get ready to uncover hidden symbols, hear testimonies of modern miracles, and understand the cultural and spiritual impact of this devotion. As you watch this video, you will be taken on a journey of faith and inspiration that can strengthen your own spirituality and bring new meaning to your life. Want to know how the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe can help in times of pain, illness, or difficulties? Join us and see how her story can illuminate your path. Stay with us to discover the secrets of one of the most miraculous stories of the Catholic faith and feel the comforting presence of Our Lady of Guadalupe in your life. Let's begin this journey together. Mexico in the 16th century. Imagine yourself in early 16th century Mexico. It is a time of great changes and uncertainties. The year is 1531, and the indigenous people, recently conquered by the Spanish, are searching for hope and faith amidst the chaos. Visualize the landscapes of colonial Mexico, cities under construction, bustling markets, and the meeting of two distinct cultures. The Spaniards, with their shining armor and new beliefs, and the indigenous people, with their ancestral traditions and deep connection to the land. In this tumultuous setting, daily life is marked by battles for survival. Oppression and the imposition of new religious norms create an atmosphere of tension and uncertainty. However, it is in this context of adversity that a profound need for spiritual comfort and renewed hope emerges. Among the hills and valleys of colonial Mexico, the people seek a light to guide them through the darkness of conquest. It is in this quest for meaning and faith that the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe unfolds, a story that would bring new hope and profound spiritual transformation to millions of people. Understanding 16th century Mexico is essential to appreciating the magnitude of the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe. In a time of great changes, her message of love and compassion offered a point of unity and hope to a people in search of divine solace. Introduction to a new faith. Before the arrival of the Spanish, the indigenous peoples of Mexico had their own rich traditions and spiritual practices. They worshipped a variety of gods and spirits with elaborate ceremonies that honored nature and the cycles of life. These rituals were deeply rooted in their cultures and identities. The Spanish conquest brought with it a new faith, Christianity. Catholic missionaries arrived determined to convert the indigenous people, building churches and introducing new rituals and religious practices. However, the imposition of Christianity also led to the destruction of many aspects of indigenous culture, including temples and sacred objects. In this environment of confrontation and assimilation, the Christian faith began to take root among the newly converted, but the search for a deeper and more meaningful connection with the divine was evident. The indigenous people sought to integrate their ancient beliefs with the new teachings, looking for a way to find comfort and hope amid overwhelming changes. The tension between the old traditions and the new faith created a fertile ground for the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe. She presented herself not as a foreign imposition, but as a loving mother who spoke the people's language, understood their pains, and offered them a message of hope and unity. This fusion of cultural and religious elements helped to ease the transition for many indigenous people, providing a bridge between the old and the new. The Virgin of Guadalupe not only brought a spiritual message, but also represented a symbol of cultural identity and resistance. Understanding this religious and cultural context is essential to appreciating the depth and impact of the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe. She not only offered spiritual solace, but also helped unite two conflicting worlds, creating a new spiritual and cultural identity that resonates to this day. The first apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe. In this tumultuous setting, a humble figure emerges, Juan Diego, a Nahua Indian. He was a simple man, living a devout life after having been converted to Christianity by Spanish missionaries. On the morning of December 9th, 1531, as Juan Diego was walking to Mass, something extraordinary happened. He was passing by Mount Tepeyac, a place that had previously housed a temple dedicated to the Aztec goddess Tonantzin. Suddenly, celestial music filled the air, and he saw a bright light emanating from the top of the hill. Curious and amazed, he approached to see what was happening. In the midst of that splendid light, on that hill, appeared the Virgin Mary, radiant and dressed in traditional Aztec clothing. Speaking in the native language of the region, Nahuatl, she introduced herself as the Mother of God. Using words he could deeply understand, she asked Juan to go to the local bishop to request the construction of a church at that place. With a gentle and compassionate voice, the Virgin Mary said to him, "Juanito, the most humble of my children, I am the ever-Virgin Mary, Mother of the true God, for whom we live. I desire that a temple be built here, so that I may show and give my love, my compassion, my help, and my protection to the people." The Virgin's message was clear. She wanted a sanctuary on Mount Tepeyac, a place where all could find peace and solace. Overwhelmed by emotion and the grandeur of the vision, Juan Diego listened attentively to the Virgin's words. With a heart full of faith and some hesitation, Juan Diego went to Bishop Fray Juan de Zumárraga. However, the bishop did not immediately believe his story and asked for a sign as proof of the apparition. Juan Diego returned to Mount Tepeyac and relayed the bishop's request to the Virgin. She comforted him and promised to provide a sign the next day. The apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe to Juan Diego was a moment of profound spiritual and cultural significance. It was an encounter that united heaven and earth, bringing a message of hope and unity in a time of great change and uncertainty. This first apparition marked the beginning of a series of miraculous events that would not only strengthen Juan Diego's faith, but also that of an entire people, creating a devotion that endures to this day. Who was Juan Diego? Juan Diego Cuauhtlatoatzin, whose name means the talking eagle, was a simple and devout Nahua Indian. Born in 1474, he lived in the region we now know as Mexico. Juan Diego was known for his humility and profound spirituality, qualities that made him one of the first converts to Christianity after the arrival of the Spanish missionaries. Before his conversion, Juan Diego, like many of his people, followed the religious traditions of the Aztecs. However, the new Christian faith touched his heart, and he was baptized along with his wife, Maria Lucia. His daily life was marked by a routine of hard work, cultivating the land, and caring for his family. But above all, Juan Diego was a man of faith, regularly attending church and practicing Christian teachings with sincere devotion. Juan Diego's life changed drastically in December 1531 when he was approximately 57 years old. During an ordinary walk to Mass, he had an extraordinary encounter that would transform his life and the religious history of Mexico forever. This humble man, chosen by the Virgin Mary to be her messenger, became a symbol of faith and hope for millions of people around the world. Juan Diego was the perfect vessel for the divine message, not because of his position or influence, but because of his unwavering faith and simplicity. The choice of such a humble and common man for such a monumental role is a powerful reminder that God's grace can manifest in anyone, regardless of social status or origin. Thus, the story of Juan Diego inspires us to recognize the value of humility and sincere faith. His simple and devout life was the fertile ground where the message of Our Lady of Guadalupe could flourish, bringing comfort and hope to countless hearts over the centuries. Juan Diego's mission. With a heart full of faith and hope, Juan Diego set out on his divine mission to meet Bishop Fray Juan de Zumárraga. He knew it would be a difficult task to convince the bishop of the authenticity of his vision, but he was determined to fulfill the Virgin Mary's will. Upon arriving at the bishop's residence, Juan Diego was met with skepticism. The story of a celestial apparition told by a humble indigenous man seemed unbelievable. The bishop listened patiently but requested a sign as proof of the apparition's veracity. Juan Diego, confused and somewhat disheartened, promised to return with the sign the bishop required. The next day, Juan Diego returned to Mount Tepeyac and met the Virgin Mary. He relayed the bishop's request and expressed his concern. With a look of tenderness and confidence, the Virgin comforted him and promised to provide the necessary sign. She instructed Juan Diego to return to the bishop the following day and fetch the sign that would confirm the authenticity of the apparition. However, Juan Diego's mission faced an unexpected obstacle. When he was about to return to Mount Tepeyac, he learned that his uncle, Juan Bernardino, was gravely ill. Worried about his uncle's health, Juan Diego decided to seek a priest to administer the last rites. In his haste, he tried to avoid encountering the Virgin by taking a different path. But the Virgin Mary appeared to Juan Diego once again, intercepting his route. She assured him that his uncle would recover and instructed Juan Diego to climb to the top of the hill to gather flowers he would find there. Although it was winter and no flowers bloomed at that time of year, Juan Diego followed the Virgin's instructions. To his surprise, he found an abundance of Castilian roses blossoming at the summit. Juan Diego gathered the flowers and placed them in his tilma, a coarse cloth cloak worn by the indigenous people. With this miraculous sign in hand, he returned to the bishop. Upon arrival, he unfolded the tilma and let the flowers fall to the ground. At that moment, an even greater miracle was revealed. On the tilma appeared the image of the Virgin Mary, just as Juan Diego had seen her. The bishop and all those present were astonished by the miracle. Juan Diego's mission had been accomplished. Through a humble indigenous man, the Virgin Mary brought a message of love, compassion, and hope that resonates to this day. The construction of the church on Mount Tepeyac began, and the devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe started to grow, transforming the faith of millions of people around the world. A true miracle. On December 12, 1531, a new chapter in the extraordinary story of Juan Diego and Our Lady of Guadalupe was about to be written. On that cold winter morning, Juan Diego once again went to Mount Tepeyac, following the instructions of the Virgin Mary. She had promised a sign to convince Bishop Fray Juan de Zumárraga of the authenticity of her apparitions. Upon reaching the top of Mount Tepeyac, Juan Diego encountered a miraculous sight. Before his eyes, beautiful Castilian roses were blooming, flowers that should not have been there, especially at that time of year. These roses were not only out of season, but also not native to the region. The miracle of the roses was a clear and indisputable sign of divine intervention. With great care, Juan Diego gathered the roses and placed them in his tilma, a coarse cloth cloak worn by the indigenous people. The Virgin Mary appeared to him once again, confirming that these roses would be the sign the bishop had requested. She instructed Juan Diego to take the flowers to the bishop without showing them to anyone along the way. Still emotional from the miracle of the roses, Juan Diego went to see the bishop. When he was finally admitted to his presence, he began to carefully unfold his tilma, revealing the Castilian roses. The bishop and all those present watched attentively as the flowers, not native to Mexico and blooming out of season, fell to the ground. But then, something even more astonishing happened. The image of Our Lady of Guadalupe miraculously appeared imprinted on the tilma. The bishop, overcome with emotion and reverence, fell to his knees before the miracle. He knew he was witnessing something truly divine. The image was clear, detailed, and incredibly beautiful. There was no doubt that the Virgin Mary had left an unmistakable sign of her presence and her request. The gathering of the flowers and the revelation of the image on the tilma were not just signs to convince the bishop, but also symbols of hope and faith that resonated deeply among the indigenous people and the Spanish colonizers. This miraculous event marked the beginning of a devotion that would grow and spread, uniting cultures and transforming hearts over the centuries. With this tangible proof of the miracle, the bishop immediately began work on the construction of the church on Mount Tepeyac, as requested by the Virgin Mary. The message of love, compassion, and unity of Our Lady of Guadalupe was solidified through this miracle, leaving an indelible mark on the faith and culture of Mexico and the world. Those present in the room shared in the same emotion and awe. The news of the miracle spread quickly, and many came to see the miraculous tilma and the sacred image it bore. The bishop, convinced by the celestial proof, immediately began preparations to fulfill the Virgin Mary's request. The presentation to the bishop was not just a moment of revelation, but also a turning point for the faith of an entire community. The image of Our Lady of Guadalupe on Juan Diego's tilma became a powerful symbol of hope, love, and unity. This miraculous event marked the beginning of a devotion that would grow and spread, uniting people of different cultures and inspiring millions of faithful around the world. The analysis of the tilma. Since that miraculous moment when the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared on Juan Diego's tilma, this sacred object has been venerated and studied. The tilma, made of cactus fibers, a material that would typically disintegrate in about 20 years, remains miraculously intact after nearly 5 centuries. This is just one of the many inexplicable aspects that have intrigued scientists and experts over the years. Numerous scientific studies have been conducted to understand the nature of the image on the tilma. One of the most fascinating details is the composition of the colors. Analysis has revealed that the pigments used do not correspond to any known natural or artificial substances. Additionally, there are no visible brush strokes, suggesting that the image was not painted by human hands. It appears as if the image was miraculously imprinted. Another mystery is the preservation of the tilma. Exposed to air, light, and humidity for centuries, it should have deteriorated long ago, yet it remains in excellent condition. Moreover, in 1921, a bomb was placed near the tilma in an attempt to destroy it. The explosion severely damaged the altar and shattered nearby windows, but the tilma remained unscathed, without any damage. One of the most intriguing aspects is found in the eyes of the image. Detailed ophthalmological studies indicate that human figures are reflected in the Virgin Mary's eyes, as if the image had captured the moment when Juan Diego revealed the roses to the bishop. The eyes exhibit the phenomenon of triple reflection, characteristic of living human eyes, a detail that defies all scientific explanation. The tilma continues to be a powerful symbol of faith and divine presence. Millions of pilgrims visit the Basilica of Guadalupe every year to see the tilma up close, seek blessings, and renew their faith. For many, the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe is not just a miracle of the past, but a continuous source of inspiration and hope. This deep and ongoing analysis of the tilma only reinforces the belief in divine intervention. The mysteries surrounding the image and its preservation continue to challenge science and inspire the faithful. Every inexplicable detail is seen as a testament to the miracle that occurred in 1531, a tangible proof of the love and compassion of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which still touches the hearts and souls of millions of people around the world.
Cultural and indigenous symbolism. The image of Our Lady of Guadalupe is much more than a religious representation. It is imbued with cultural symbolism that resonates deeply with the indigenous people of Mexico. From the moment of her apparition, every detail of the image was carefully designed to communicate a powerful and inclusive message. First, note the brown skin of the Virgin Mary. She does not appear with the fair complexion traditionally associated with European depictions of the Virgin, but rather with brown skin that reflects the appearance of native Mexicans. This detail created an immediate identification between the Virgin and the indigenous people, showing that she was one of them and understood their struggles and hopes. Her blue-green mantle, covered with golden stars, is another significant element. For the Aztecs, blue-green was a sacred color, reserved for the gods. The stars are not arranged randomly. They correspond to the constellations visible in the Mexican sky on the night of the apparition. This symbolizes that Our Lady of Guadalupe is the Queen of Heaven, connecting the divine to the earthly in a profound and meaningful way. The Virgin's pink tunic, decorated with floral patterns, symbolizes the earth and life. The flowers on the tunic are more than mere decoration. They have deep meanings in Aztec culture. The four-petaled flower, located at the center of her abdomen, is a Nahua symbol of the universe and divinity. This indicates that the Virgin Mary is pregnant with Jesus Christ, bringing the promise of new life and hope. Moreover, the Virgin's posture, with her hands joined in prayer and her compassionate gaze directed downward, conveys a sense of welcoming and maternal care. She does not look towards the heavens, but towards the earth, indicating her constant vigilance and concern for the problems and sufferings of humanity. This gaze conveys to the faithful that Mary is always present, ready to offer her love and intercession. The black sash around her waist indicates pregnancy, something that the Aztec indigenous people would recognize immediately. This detail symbolizes the coming of Christ through a mother who is both celestial and earthly. The figure of an angel at the Virgin's feet, holding her mantle, represents the earth being protected and blessed by heaven. The indigenous people saw angels as divine messengers, and the presence of the angel reinforces the idea that the Virgin Mary is a bridge between God and humanity, a loving and powerful intercessor. Each element of the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe was carefully chosen to communicate a message of inclusion, hope, and unity. These cultural and indigenous symbols help to integrate the new Christian faith with local traditions, providing a way for the indigenous people to connect deeply with Christianity. The Virgin of Guadalupe became a symbol of cultural identity and resistance, uniting the Mexican people in a bond of faith and devotion that remains strong to this day.
Hidden messages in the tilma. Beyond the visible cultural and religious symbolism in the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, Juan Diego's tilma contains hidden messages that have intrigued scholars for centuries. These profound details reveal surprising knowledge in a divine message intricately woven into the very essence of the image. One of the most fascinating aspects of the tilma is the arrangement of the stars on the Virgin's mantle. Astronomical studies have shown that the stars correspond to the exact position of the constellations in the Mexican sky on the date of the apparition, December 12, 1531. This suggests celestial knowledge and a divine intention to connect heaven and earth through the sacred image. The stars on the mantle are not merely decorative. They represent the cosmos, indicating that the Virgin Mary is the Queen of Heaven, uniting the divine and the earthly. Another intriguing detail is the flowers on the Virgin's tunic, which form a topographical map of central Mexico. At the center of her abdomen, there is a four-petaled flower known as Nahui Olin to the Aztecs, a symbol of centrality and divinity. This flower represents the presence of God and the convergence of universal energies. Placed on the Virgin's abdomen, it symbolizes that Mary is carrying the incarnate God, Jesus Christ. This imagery reinforces the message that Christ's birth is a central and divine event, bringing hope and salvation to the world. One of the most mysterious aspects of the image is found in the eyes of the Virgin. Detailed ophthalmological analyses indicate that the eyes reflect human figures, as if they captured the moment when Juan Diego revealed the roses to the bishop. The phenomenon of triple reflection, observed in the eyes of the image, is characteristic of living human eyes. This means that the eyes of the Virgin in the tilma reflect what she would have seen at that miraculous moment, a detail that defies scientific understanding and suggests an even deeper miracle. Furthermore, the image of the Virgin of Guadalupe maintains a constant temperature of 36.6 degrees Celsius, the temperature of a living human body, despite climatic variations over the centuries. This inexplicable phenomenon continues to impress scientists and reinforces the belief that the image is more than a painting. It is a living and constant presence. The preservation of the tilma is also a miracle in itself. Made from cactus fibers that would typically disintegrate in about 20 years, the tilma remains intact and in excellent condition after nearly 5 centuries. In 1921, a bomb was placed near the tilma in an attempt to destroy it. The explosion severely damaged the altar and shattered nearby windows, but the tilma remained unscathed, without any damage, a clear sign of divine protection. These hidden details in Juan Diego's tilma not only reinforce the authenticity of the miracle, but also deepen our understanding of the spiritual and cultural significance of the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe. They reveal a divinely encoded message intended to inspire and guide the faithful. Every inexplicable aspect of the image is seen as a testament to the miracle that occurred in 1531, a tangible reminder of the love and compassion of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which continues to touch the hearts and souls of millions of people around the world. Historical miracles. Since the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe in 1531, countless miracles have been attributed to her intercession. These extraordinary events have not only strengthened the faith of the people, but also cemented the devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe as a source of protection and healing. One of the first recorded miracles occurred shortly after the apparition in 1531. A man who had been severely injured and was on the brink of death was brought to Juan Diego's tilma. Upon touching the image of the Virgin, he was instantly healed. This event was witnessed by many and quickly spread as proof of the miraculous power of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Another significant event happened in 1736, during a terrible plague epidemic that ravaged Mexico City. The disease was decimating the population, and the city was in despair. In an act of faith, the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe was carried in procession through the city's streets. Thousands of people gathered to pray and plead for her intercession. Miraculously, the epidemic ceased abruptly after the procession. This event was seen as a direct intervention of the Virgin Mary, who responded to her children's prayers with compassion and power. In another notable episode, in 1921, a bomb was placed near the tilma in an attempt to destroy it by anti-clerical forces. The explosion was devastating, severely damaging the altar and breaking nearby windows. However, the tilma remained completely unharmed, without any damage. This incident was interpreted as a clear sign of divine protection and the power of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Over the centuries, many other miracles have been recorded, including inexplicable physical healings, protection during wars and natural disasters, and profound spiritual conversions. In all these cases, the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe brought comfort, hope, and renewal of faith to millions of people. These historical miracles are not just events of the past, but continue to inspire and strengthen the faith of devotees today. Each miracle is a testimony to the love and compassion of Our Lady of Guadalupe, reminding us that she is always present, ready to intercede for us and offer her divine protection. The story of these miracles is a powerful reminder that faith can move mountains and that the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe has a profound and lasting impact. Her presence continues to be a source of hope and inspiration for all those who seek her help, uniting generations of faithful in a devotion that transcends time and circumstances.
Modern miracles. The intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe has not been limited to historical times. Even today, thousands of pilgrims report modern miracles, ranging from physical healings to deep spiritual transformations through their devotion to her. A notable case is that of a woman diagnosed with terminal cancer. Desperate and without hope, she decided to visit the Basilica of Guadalupe. There, she prayed fervently before the miraculous image, asking for the Virgin's intercession. After returning home, medical tests revealed that the cancer had completely disappeared. The doctors, perplexed, could not explain the cure. For the woman and her family, it was clear that a miracle had occurred through the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Another recent testimony involves a man who suffered a severe car accident. His vehicle was completely destroyed, and the chances of survival were minimal. During the accident, he invoked the protection of the Virgin of Guadalupe. Miraculously, he escaped unscathed, without a scratch. Paramedics and witnesses were astonished by his survival, attributing the event to divine intervention. An impressive testimony is that of Anna, a mother desperate with her young son's illness. The boy suffered from a rare condition that doctors could not treat. Desperate, Anna made a promise to Our Lady of Guadalupe and went to the Basilica to ask for a miracle. Shortly after, her son began to show an inexplicable recovery, surprising the doctors. Today, Anna and her son visit the Basilica every year to thank for the miraculous cure they believe they received. The Basilica of Guadalupe receives millions of pilgrims every year, each with their own stories of miracles and blessings. Many faithful report feeling a comforting and protective presence while praying before the image. Some experience immediate healings of diseases, while others find solutions to personal and family problems that seemed insoluble. These modern miracles are living testimonies of the continued power of the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Beyond physical healings, there are reports of spiritual miracles. People who felt lost, without purpose, or distant from faith find spiritual renewal and a profound sense of peace when visiting the Basilica. Confessions and masses at the Basilica often result in deep spiritual transformations, where the faithful feel touched by the love and compassion of Our Lady. These contemporary testimonies reinforce the ongoing belief in the miraculous power of Our Lady of Guadalupe. They show that, regardless of time or place, the Virgin continues to hear and respond to her children's prayers. Her presence is a constant source of hope and comfort for those facing challenges and seeking her help. The story of modern miracles of Our Lady of Guadalupe is a powerful reminder that faith can bring real and tangible changes in people's lives. She continues to be a beacon of hope and a living testimony of divine love and compassion, inspiring millions of people to trust in her intercession and find comfort in her maternal protection. Influence on Mexican culture. Our Lady of Guadalupe is not only a religious symbol, she is a central figure in Mexican culture, deeply rooted in the national identity and traditions of the people. Since the 16th century, the Virgin has been a source of identity, pride, and unity for Mexicans, transcending generations and borders. Imagine the streets and squares of Mexico decorated with flags and images of the Virgin of Guadalupe, especially on December 12th, the day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Millions of Mexicans celebrate this date with great fervor and joy. Colorful processions march through the cities, accompanied by traditional dances, Marian songs, and flower offerings. The celebrations are a vibrant display of faith and culture, uniting communities in an expression of collective devotion. The influence of Guadalupe goes beyond religious celebrations. She's present in the everyday lives of the Mexican people, from home altars to pieces of art and literature. Her image can be seen in murals on the streets, in works by renowned artists, and in sculptures adorning churches and public spaces. The famous muralist Diego Rivera, for example, incorporated the image of the Virgin into his works, representing Mexican cultural resistance and identity. Guadalupe also plays a crucial role in Mexican literature. Poets and writers have dedicated numerous works to the Virgin, celebrating her beauty, grace, and miraculous power. Her story and presence are recurring themes in novels, poetry, and essays, reflecting the deep reverence Mexicans have for her. The Virgin of Guadalupe is seen as a symbol of hope and protection, a loving mother who cares for her children. Moreover, Guadalupe is a symbol of resistance and social justice. During the Mexican War of Independence, Miguel Hidalgo, the insurgent leader, used the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe on his banner, inspiring his followers to fight for freedom. Since then, the Virgin has been associated with social causes and justice movements, serving as a symbol of hope and transformation. The Virgin of Guadalupe transcends social and cultural divisions, uniting the Mexican people in a shared faith and collective identity. Her presence is a constant reminder of the love and compassion she offers, and the strength Mexicans find in their devotion to her. Our Lady of Guadalupe is more than a religious figure. She is the Mother of Mexico, a constant presence guiding and protecting her people. The influence of Guadalupe in Mexican culture is immense and multifaceted. She is a beacon of faith, a source of artistic and literary inspiration, and a symbol of resistance and justice. Her image and story continue to resonate deeply in the lives of Mexicans, inspiring and uniting generations in a devotion that transcends time and circumstances.
History and construction of the Basilica. The Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, located in Mexico City, is one of the most important pilgrimage sites in the world. Its history begins in 1531, shortly after the miraculous apparition of the Virgin Mary to Juan Diego. The Virgin had requested that a church be built on Mount Tepeyac so that all could come to her in search of comfort and protection. The first shrine was a small chapel made of straw and mud, quickly built to fulfill the Virgin's request. As devotion grew, the need for a larger structure became evident. In 1695, a larger and more robust basilica was constructed to accommodate the growing number of pilgrims coming from all parts of Mexico to venerate the miraculous image. However, over time, the old basilica began to experience structural problems due to the unstable ground on which it was built. The church began to sink, and the ecclesiastical authorities realized that a more durable solution was needed. Thus, in 1974, construction of a new modern basilica was begun, designed to withstand the test of time and ongoing devotion. The new Basilica of Guadalupe, completed in 1976, is a masterpiece of modern architecture and can accommodate up to 10,000 worshippers at a time. Its circular design allows all present to have a clear view of the sacred image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is suspended behind the main altar. This structure was designed to receive and shelter the millions of pilgrims who visit the sanctuary every year. The interior of the new basilica is impressive, with a ceiling adorned with beautiful works of art and colorful stained glass windows that narrate the story of the apparition and the miracles attributed to the Virgin of Guadalupe. The walls are decorated with murals depicting Mexico's rich cultural and spiritual heritage, linking devotion to the Virgin with national identity. The construction of the new basilica was not only a response to physical needs, but also a testimony to the unwavering faith of the millions of devotees of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It symbolizes the continuity of devotion and the central importance of the Virgin in the spiritual and cultural life of the Mexican people. Since its inauguration, the new Basilica of Guadalupe has become an international pilgrimage center. Millions of people travel there every year, especially on December 12th, to celebrate the Day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Pilgrimages are acts of faith and devotion, where the faithful come to give thanks, ask for blessings, and renew their hopes. The history and construction of the Basilica of Guadalupe are more than a narrative of bricks and mortar. They are a living testimony of the faith and devotion that transcend generations. The Basilica is a place where heaven and earth meet, where the prayers of the faithful rise, and where the loving presence of Our Lady of Guadalupe is felt in a tangible and powerful way. During the celebrations of the Day of Our Lady of Guadalupe on December 12th, the Basilica transforms into a center of intense devotion and festivities. Millions of pilgrims fill the place, participating in masses, processions, and night vigils. The atmosphere is a combination of joy, faith, and community, providing an unforgettable experience of spiritual connection.
Message of hope and faith. The story of Our Lady of Guadalupe continues to inspire hope and faith in millions of people around the world. Let us now unite in prayer, asking for the intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe for our needs and intentions. O glorious Mother of God, Our Lady of Guadalupe, patroness of the Americas, you are our compassionate mother. Heal our pains, miseries, and sufferings, and shelter us under your protective mantle. Hear, Mother, our prayers. Make your request. Help the sick and the unemployed. Bless our homes and our families. Protect our children, freeing them from the evils and dangers of this world. Guard our homes from the eyes of the wicked, so that the name of God is always invoked with respect and love. May your commandments always be faithfully observed. May your blessed name, dear Mother, always be remembered with great devotion. May the word of God always be meditated upon and followed every day of our lives. May our obedience to your Son, Jesus, exude a fragrance of holiness, like a rose. Amen. Embark on a spiritual journey with our new ebook, 50 Saints, Stories and Prayers for Divine Intervention. This inspiring collection delves into the lives of 50 revered saints, offering their powerful stories and heartfelt prayers to guide you towards divine intervention. Perfect for personal reflection or group study, this ebook is a must-have for every devout Catholic. Enhance your faith and discover the strength of these saintly figures. Find the download link in the pinned comment below. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of Our Lady of Guadalupe. If you were inspired by the story, we invite you to learn about the story of Blessed Carlo Acutis. Click on the video appearing on the screen to discover more about his life and his devotion to the Eucharist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories of faith. May the blessing of Our Lady of Guadalupe be with you and your family.